So, IT employees, what motivates them? What motivates your IT staff? What things do they need to be successful in the organization? In the old days, in the first 10 years of my career, I would direct people to do things. And I found out over a long period of time with IT folks that this isn't always the best strategy. IT folks are generally insane. They're usually very high maintenance personalities, and they sometimes can be irritable and difficult to deal with. So I'll give you an example of that. I walk into the IT department or the IT manager's office and I say, here's the latest version of QuickBooks or our accounting software. Please install it. I'd like it done within 2 weeks. Roll it out on the servers. Roll it out on the PCs. I want everything upgraded. Can you get it done by next Friday? That is the way I used to manage in the first 10 years when I had some turnover. I don't do that anymore. I don't direct the person to do something anymore. I ask questions in a way that allows the other party to have a higher level of self-esteem and engages them in the decision-making process. So I'll give you some examples of what I do today. When you walk into an IT manager's office and you say, here's the latest version of this software, please install it, what happens? They go, smoke comes out of their ears, right? Because IT people are friggin' insane. I'm serious. They're insane. They get crazy. They get crazed. Because they're so protective of their infrastructure and their servers and everything else that they take offense whenever you ask them to alter something or do something. So I changed my management style, and I changed the way that I approach these situations. And what I would do today, which would be completely different, is I would walk into the IT manager's office and I would say, we're considering going to the latest version of QuickBooks. Do you think it will integrate well into our environment? Is there anything that we need to support the latest version of this application if we choose to do an upgrade? I'm involving the IT person in the decision-making process. I'm not walking in and saying, I made a decision, here's what we're doing, let's do it. You know that you're going to the latest version of QuickBooks. You know you're upgrading your accounting system. There's no doubt about that. But the way you ask and the way you approach IT people, I think, can be very important to the success that you have as a manager of IT folks. Do you think the software will integrate well in our environment? I'll give you another example. Manufacturing firms. You make widgets. The CEO comes, you're the CFO, the CEO comes in your office and say, we just bought another company out, and they make widgets too. So go tell the IT manager, he's got to call the other widget company, he's got to call his IT manager, and they got to integrate all the systems, they got to get everything to work together, we need remote access to everything, I want to merge all the data and all the applications, everybody needs to be running on this platform. That's not going to go over well. Like information overload, right? A different way to approach that might be take the IT manager out to lunch and say, hey, we're merging with this company, and I want to know what we need to do to be ready to integrate the IT systems. What are your thoughts on these upgrades? What are your thoughts on this integration? Ask them to tell you what they think before you tell them what we're doing. Building trust by way of casual meetings. Again, lunch. I go out with my CEO every week for lunch for no reason. Sometimes we talk business. Sometimes we talk personal stuff. If you have an IT engineer or an IT manager and the relationship is iffy, just start going to lunch. No agenda. Doesn't need to be an agenda. Maybe you'll talk about that QuickBooks upgrade or something that's coming up in the company. But really better to know them as a person and understand them as a person. You can go to lunch with a random employee and find out they're going through a divorce you didn't even know about. You'll find out their child is sick. Maybe that's why they're irritable in the office. Key employees, you should be using lunch. Everybody needs to eat. Everybody needs that hour break. You've got to eat. Your employees have to eat. Why aren't you spending time with them? It can be positive, constructive time during simple lunch meetings. I've used this tactic for years, and the staff is like amazing. These people love me. Totally casual. You'd be surprised what comes out in lunch meetings with IT people and how creative they are. You can take an IT guy to lunch and you're building trust now and you're bonding with that person, and then they start opening up to you and saying, hey, did you know, I didn't want to tell you because I know you're really tight on the budget, but we've got these servers that are really dying, and because I'm afraid to talk to you, I didn't really want to mention it till it was on its last legs, but you know, I wanted to let you know. That can come out at a simple lunch meeting. Just because you interacted with this employee outside of the work setting and in a different atmosphere, and you're building trust with the employees, which is super, super important. Find out what a person aspires to be. Again, you can do that on the interview process. That comes out a lot at lunch meetings. You can go to lunch and take an IT guy to lunch, and he goes, man, I really want to take that Cisco test. I really wish I could get some training on this product or that product or the phone system. Oh, great. That's power in your hands. People want to be part of a team. IT people need to feel recognized and accepted. A negative relationship with a boss or a manager, especially when managing IT folks, will trigger feels of failure and rejection. If the boss is negative for any reason, people will play it safe. You don't want your IT people to play it safe. You don't want them to be doing just enough. You want them to be creative, part of their creative process, and interact with you and tell you what's really going on in the organization. The last thing you want them to do is feel like they're on pins and needles to avoid being fired. Because then you're really not going to have good insight into the infrastructure, and they may be holding things back that they're afraid to tell you. And of course, the manager who creates the positive, high self-esteem workplace will have higher performance, lower absenteeism, lower turnover. So I took a little box and I cut a hole in the top of it before this presentation a couple of weeks ago. And I sat it in my call center. And I sent all the staff, my IT folks, an email that said, okay, tell me what motivates you. And these were the responses I got. The company invested in my personal future by way of training and education. Just straight out of my IT department. I'm recognized for my accomplishments. I have the freedom to create. And the best one I thought was, I have a manager that looks out for me. He's upfront, he's honest, he communicates well. His feedback is direct. He doesn't treat me like a subordinate. And he includes me in management meetings. He includes me in the creative decision-making process.